All right, let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're excited to have you join us for today's webinar, How We Do Threat Intelligence at CyberProof. I'm Yonit Tannenbaum, and I'll be your moderator. Whether you're just beginning your journey with threat intelligence or already running a mature CTI program, today's session will offer valuable insights into how CyberProof is helping organizations get ahead of threats with smarter, more tailored approach. Before we dive in, a few quick housekeeping notes. So the session is being recorded, and both the recording and the slides will be available on BrightTalk shortly after we wrap up. You'll also find related attachments available at the bottom of your screen. Feel free to download them now or after the session. Throughout the webinar, we'll run a few short polls. We'd love your participation. And if you have any questions, just drop them into the Q&A box at any time. We'll get to as many as we can during the live Q&A at the very end. And most exciting of all, get a customized threat profile based on your industry and region. Apply at the link you'll find at the bottom of the screen. I will add that now. All right. So before we get started, let's hear from our audience. What is your organization's biggest challenge with threat intelligence today? Too much noise, not enough actionable insights, lack of internal expertise to analyze threats, difficulty integrating threat intel into workflows, limited visibility into external threats, or something else? Please share in the chat. You can go ahead and make your selection. We'll leave the poll open for about 30 seconds and then share the results. Well, thank you for sharing. That gives us a great picture into how different organizations are tackling CTI today. So I'm thrilled to introduce today's speaker, Nethaniel Ribco, CyberProof's Cyber Threat Intelligence Team Leader. Nethaniel is a seasoned cyber intelligence leader with over a decade of experience, specializing in dark web intelligence, threat exposure and analysis, and proactive threat management. His background in political science and sociology, combined with military experience, gives him a strategic and analytical approach to cyber defense. At CyberProof, Nethaniel leads a global team of CTI experts who deliver actionable insights that help organizations detect and stay ahead of evolving threats across the digital landscape. Nethaniel, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Yonit, for the introduction. And hi, everyone. Again, I'm Nethaniel. I've been in CyberProof for over 5 years. I lead the CTI team, and I'm the one also of designing and make sure that the CTI service is implemented into our customers' environments. So what we're going to be doing here is explaining to you how here at CyberProof we do CTI. How do we look at the service? What are we trying to achieve? and I'm excited to share with you really everything that we have prepared for today. Let's get started. Okay, so before we actually dive in into the core of the what the CTI service does here at CyberProof, I'd like to begin with an analogy that I heard from one of my senior analysts. That he said, "Listen, CTI driving a security operations center, a SOC team, without CTI is like driving with only looking at the rear view mirror. You're only looking back. You are only focusing on what already happened. You just don't have visibility. Everything you do is reactive. Everything is reactionary. You only have the retrospective. You're focusing in the past, in logs that you found, in past experiences, but you're not seeing what's ahead, what's besides you, and what can guide you to where you have to go. And that's why having CTI is, I think, critical part of security operations now more than ever, with how much the threat landscape is changing on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis, especially powered by AI in the defensive and attack side. So we need to be looking outside. We need to be looking forward. We need to be looking at the windshield. And this windshield is CTI. CTI gives you the visibility of what is happening out there, what is happening in the threat landscape, what are companies like mine dealing with, how can I protect myself against that, what are the main tactics that I need to be aware of. That's why having CTI to empower us to always stay ahead of these threats is actually something that is critical. Um, Being proactive, that is just a necessity right now. We need to be prepared against the upcoming threats instead of just reactive. We need to build strategies, uh, besides of also building mitigations. All right. So how do we solve this problem of visibility or lack of visibility? How do we create this windshield that we were talking about before? So here in CyberProof, we look at this in many different ways. First of all, the first pillar here is the technology and human expertise. The technology that we use is we always try to make the technology that we use the most advanced, the most optimal for to solve the problems that we have. And we also have the human expertise, the human skills that are going to help us uh, use these technologies in the best way possible to deliver the results that are needed. So matching those skills with the technology is what gives a very strong service here to what we're building. Um, when we are also talking about technology, it's important to note that this technology needs to help us do several things, covering the cyber threat intelligence lifecycle, from the collection of the data, from the planning of the data, to analyzing the data, and then disseminating the data. How do we work? What technologies do we leverage? How do we cover the dark web? Do we have presence there? Do we need to maybe have a product that scrapes it for us? Do we get proactive alerting? How do we deal with OSINT? All of that is technology that we leverage here in CyberProof. We have experts who know this technology and have used it for many years, and they know how to make the most out of each one of these technologies. Secondly, actionable intelligence. It sounds very simple, but the intelligence that we provide here in CyberProof has to be actionable. We, as part of an MSSP, we work with other security services, with other security teams. So what we provide them as ammunition for their services needs to be actionable. I can't just provide informational data that is not going to take me anywhere. We need to see something being done about this. Threat actor mapping, we track and record the different campaigns of different threat actors in how they leverage the different tactics, the different tools. Um, and this way, we're able to provide our customers with visibility to what sort of tactics, what sort of tools we need to protect against based on which threat actor is the most relevant. And finally, full visibility. We believe in transparency. We believe that the customer should be able to know what we are doing, how we are producing our deliverables or value. But we also have full visibility into our customers' environment. And having visibility into our customers' environment gives us a clear picture of who is actually attacking our customers, where are the threats coming from, and how can we anticipate them based on the stuff that we see outside as part of being a CTI. So this is our approach to how we want to provide the intelligence that we create. Um, all right, in this slide, what we want to provide is a high-level view of the CTI infrastructure and how we transform the raw data that we collect from many different sources into actionable intelligence. So at the core of the process, at the beginning of the process, we have the CTI team, again, enhanced by several different technologies. By the way, the technologies that are mentioned here are just a section to provide an idea of kind of what sort of solutions we work with. But we cover more than 150 threat intelligence sources, and all of them are different. All of them have different categories. Some of them are deep web, some of them are dark web, some of them are social media platforms. So all of those different kinds of intelligence that we collect from all of different sources are divided into three different categories of intelligence. The first one, we have the threat landscape intelligence. This is the intelligence that covers on a macro level what is the global threat environment and how, where does it meet my customer. So if there's a new vulnerability, a new critical vulnerability affecting a technology that is that my customer leverages, or is there a new threat actor that is targeting my customers sector or geolocation, and how are they going to attack, how should we prepare ourselves. All of that is the threat landscape, looking outside what is happening and how and when and where does it meet our customer. The second type of intelligence is what we call the asset-based intelligence. This is the one that is specific to the customer. It's based on my customers' digital assets, digital footprint. So the domains, their IP addresses, their brand names, all of those indicators and keywords that help me identify the presence of my customer out there in the internet. And this includes, for example, dark web sources. If someone is posting credentials that they've stolen or that they were leaked, and that way, looking for the mail domain of my customer, I'm able to locate leak credentials for this customer that were published in deep web, dark web sources. That's just a small example. And finally, attack surface monitoring. The attack surface monitoring means that it's a tool that continuously monitors our customer's digital footprint, and it identifies all sorts of exposed threats, misconfigurations, vulnerable devices, open ports, vulnerabilities that could be exploited. Um, this is like looking at the outside, looking at a company from outside from the eyes of a potential attacker. All of these three different kinds of intelligence are operationalized in the customer's environment, in their SIM or in the SOAR platform, where it can afterwards be utilized by the rest of the security teams, like the SOC team. If they receive an alert about a specific threat, then they are going to treat it as any sort of alert that gets into the security system. They can investigate, they can escalate until the task is closed. Threat hunting team, they are going to take our intelligence and create different hypotheses for their threats, for their hunts, sorry. Um, the UCM team takes our threat profiles and creates detection rules based on the prioritization that we give them, based on the threat actors that we consider that are most relevant for the specific customers. Vulnerability management, they prioritized vulnerability patching based on vulnerability intelligence, which ones are under active exploitation. Are they being used by any sort of ransomware gang, maybe for privilege escalation? So all of this sort of information is leveraged by vulnerability management team. Manage EDR service. They take our IOCs and they monitor them, block them in the endpoints. And finally, pen testers. They take our intelligence and build pen testing sessions based on real life potential threats that could be affecting that specific company. So again, CTI here, we take the raw data, we process it, we analyze it, we send it to the relevant, obviously, customer device, and then this data empowers the other services to have a strategy, to have some sort of direction into what is it that they need to be doing based on the actual threats that they could be dealing with. All right. This next slide shows the core components of our CTI, the Cyber Threat Intelligence Service, and how each one of the modules helps solve or answer a specific intelligence request that our customers may have. Let's start from the left. The first two modules are included in our MDR service as well, but this is what we call the essential CTI service. It covers threat landscape alerts. Again, what is happening out there, new ransomware techniques, new malware attacks, new vulnerabilities. All of that we provide to our customers on an ongoing basis. Um, then we also have threat intelligence enrichment. The threat intelligence enrichment, it's also that MDR customers get integrations to CTI tools, or not only MDR customers, but our customers get integrations to CTI tools that help enrich the indicators that the SOC analysts are seeing in the security systems. So those are what we call the essential package that cover what's out there, and that the customers need to be aware of, and our security teams need to know in order to proactively mitigate as well. Then we enter to the category of the tailored CTI service. The first one there in that category is the asset-based threat alerts. These are alerts that are based on keywords or digital assets of our customers, as mentioned before, domains, IP addresses, brand names, etc., VIP names. Um, all of those create alerts that are fed into SIEM and SOAR systems, such as phishing domains, credentials that leaked, mentions in dark web sources, mentions in ransomware websites. All of those that are mentions to the customer and the organization specifically. Following that, we have the attack surface management. This is the module that, or the tool that continuously maps the external attack surface. It detects shadow IT, it detects vulnerabilities, again, open ports, exposures that could be exploited by attackers. We have the next module that we call the strategic threat advisory. This provides high-level strategic intelligence that supports executive and senior management decision making. It provides intelligence that can influence bigger processes that happen within an organization. We're going to deep dive a little bit more into this specific module. Um, and then we also have the takedown service. When we detect an impersonation, a phishing website, a social media, a fraudulent profile, we also have the capability to take down that threat and remove it from the internet. So that provides really the whole circle of the whole coverage of what we believe that full coverage of all the different aspects for an organization should look like. We also have extra deliverables that this depend on ad hoc needs or specific customer needs, like custom threat intelligence requests or RFIs. If a customer needs a deep dive on a specific threat actor, if they are experiencing a campaign, if they need special research about it, um, if there is a third party breach, one of your providers was breached by a ransomware, and you want to know if your organization was impacted as a provider or a third party to this company, if you were affected by this breach. So we have the capabilities to do that. And we also have threat led penetration testing reports, which are penetration testing reports done for penetration testing engineers. Um, so they know what sort of attack vector they should be uh, testing based on real life scenarios that companies similar to the companies that our customer is have experienced in the past. And finally, enhanced brand protection. We have customers that their brand is very big and public, so they need a solution that is more specific to brand protection. And this can include, for example, unlimited takedowns or favicon monitoring, logo detection in different sources. So this is a more specific coverage of brand threats. Um, and here we have a couple of examples of our deliverables in what we provide looks like. Here we have, for example, the dashboard or part of the dashboard that we built for attack surface management. This covers open ports. This covers also how many domains, how many subdomains, what is the SSL certificate ranking, and this gives us a big an overall idea of how our attack surface is looking like, our customer's attack surface is looking like. And the CTI monthly summary, which summarizes our asset-based findings, our threat landscape findings, and our attack surface management findings, uh, how what has been done about each one of them, and how we are helping remediate the threats that we are finding out there, and contributing to consolidating the security posture of our customers. We also provide a threat assessment based on the activity that we have observed in our customers' environment in the last month, to see what we need to be focusing on from a security perspective. And strategic threat advisory, as I mentioned before, the part of the service that provides strategic intelligence. One of our deliverables here is a company threat profiling. It's a report detailing the different capabilities, and tools and TTPs and the MITRE mapping of all of the threat actors that we find relevant to our customers based on geolocations and industries that those threat actors have targeted in the past. So this sort of deliverable, the company threat profiling, is then leveraged by teams like UCM to develop and prioritize their detection rules based on these TTPs that we are telling them that are more urgent to be covered against. And an executive briefing report. This is a session. This is a report, first of all, that it also has a presentation to the high level and senior management teams of our customers, where we want to share them more, again, high level and strategic intelligence that can provide help in direction and visibility into what's their threat posture, their threat profile, their threat stand right now. How many times have they been mentioned in the dark web? There been any changes? Last month was 50, today is 250. What's happening there? Are we getting more targeted, or is it just a one-off? The cyber threat landscape trends. What are the most seen malwares out there? What's the malware that are we seeing targeting your specific sector? How are other companies defending against these sort of threats? And we also provide geopolitical threats, and how can they impact the operations, especially the cyber operations, but general operations of our customers. If there's new regulations, if there's a new geopolitical conflict in the areas of operation that could affect our customers as well.
Excellent, Nathaniel. Let's do another quick pulse check here. So how does your organization currently approach threat intelligence? Relying primarily on open source threat feeds, using commercial, which is paid, threat intelligence tools, partnering with a managed CTI service provider, or you don't have a formal CTI approach in place? We'll leave the poll open for about 30 more seconds. All right, interesting. Okay. So back to you, Nathaniel.
All right, thank you. Definitely interesting. I think that this is really. I mean, we have half of the people that are here part of the webinar are saying that they don't have a formal approach right now in the CTI, and that's interesting. It's something that is evolving quite quickly. There are a lot of companies that want to start doing a CTI program and they don't know where to start. Many of them also go for commercial tools, but there's also a problem there, which is you need the expertise, you need the time, you need to know how to leverage the paid tools that you're leveraging. It does require an expert in many times to run this, and obviously I'm biased, but I think having a service provider that their expertise is CTI, they've used the tools, they know how the other tools work, and they know how they work together, they know how to integrate, and they know how to make the most of them. So I think in this perspective, in this day and age, having a service provider for CTI is an excellent call um, for organizations. Uh, let's go through a few use cases. These use cases are a bit, let's say, on a day to day, this is the sort of stuff that we see very regularly. Phishing campaign neutralization, we're able to detect phishing domains, active phishing websites before our customers, so the customers of our customer is able to find them. And with our takedown service, we're able to neutralize those phishing campaigns. Um, Financial asset monitoring. We have many customers that have credit cards. They produce credit cards, and we are able to track leaked credit cards or stolen credit cards to different forums in the dark web where these are exposed, either exposed in plain text for other threat actors to just use, or for sale, when we can also engage and see how we help our customer get back what's theirs. Data leak prevention. Our We had a customer that they were posting a lot of sensitive data into GitHub. We were able to identify this data immediately and bring it down from GitHub restricted before it's accessible for other GitHub users or other potential threat actors that know that this sort of things happen in GitHub, and monitor it as well. Counterfeit app takedown. We had a customer that had a fake app being uploaded in one of the app stores, of the application stores, and it was actually a malware. You would download it, but actually what you would download is a malware that would exfiltrate data from the mobile from customers. So we were able to take down that fake application. E-commerce security enhancements, we were able to detect active vulnerabilities in customers' e-commerce websites. And thanks to our detections, they were able to make the checkout more secure. Critical vulnerability reporting, when there are new vulnerabilities that could be easily exploited or are already being exploited. So we have a protocol to trigger a whole operation to make sure that this is mitigated as soon as possible. Um, are we doing this poll now?
Yes, we'll just do this one quickly.
Yeah.
We'll do a quick check on how important CTI is to your organization today. So how would you rate the importance of CTI to your organization? Mission critical, a top strategic investment, important but not a top priority, useful but receives limited focus or resources, or not currently a priority? And we'll leave this open for about 30 seconds. All right, looks like we have our answer. Not a top priority.
All right.
Back to
Uh,
you.
Important, but not a top priority. Um, I have to say, I'm not surprised, but I think that this is something that we need to change in how we see things. Again, going back to the analogy of the rear view mirror, where we need to be looking outside. We need to be looking what's happening. The threats are changing all the time. We have, for example, Scatter Spider, the threat actor that's been attacking and causing havoc all over the world. But they started targeting a specific industry, and then they completely changed that industry, the industry that they were attacking, and if you were already following what Scatter Spider is doing, so you would know that you're in a heightened place of threat now if you were in that vertical, and you need to take the necessary measures to be protected against this threat actor who was really causing destruction. Um, so I think now it should be a top strategic investment, um, to make sure that you are protected. This is the first step about being protected. Um, and so, yeah, just to actually continue that, and with another, I guess, a more unique example of something that we had to deal with in the team not very long ago. The CTI team, working closely with the DFIR team, the Digital Forensics and Incident Response team, we responded to a malware alert that was triggered at the EDR in one of our customers. And the DFIR team started the investigation, discovered that there were IOCs that hadn't previously been detected. They were not being found on Virus Total. So we were talking about a new or an evolving campaign. The attack that here started with social engineering techniques. Um, they started talking to our customers' employees via Teams. They pretended to be an IT technician, which is a classic social engineering move. It looked very legitimate. And then this impersonating person, the impersonating IT technician, asked them to download AnyDesk, which is used maliciously, but not specifically malicious. But there was also another link to a zip file, a password protected zip file. And inside there was obviously the malicious executable disguised as this AnyDesk tool. The fact, all of this social engineering, and the fact that there were two files, it was really successful at passing through obviously human borders. But then that was once the person, the targeted employee, started to open the zip file. It triggered our alerts, and that's where we started investigation. We responded, we isolated the machines and started investigating, and we found that it was based on the tactics and some of the indicators and some of the tools that were also used during the attack. We were able to identify that this was, in fact, a Black Basta ransomware campaign. It's a group that is also known to use the Zbot and Darkgate malware in their operations. But thanks to this early detection and the collaborative job between the DFIR team and the CTI team, we were able to be proactive at blocking further malicious behaviors. And then all of the IOCs that we collected from this and the TTPs, we shared with the rest of the security teams to make sure, to CyberProof security teams, to make sure that we are all protected against this threat that is probably trending and could be targeting another one of our customers. You can read more about this in our blog that we put out in the CyberProof website. It was a really interesting case that, a little bit something a little bit different. Um, but now again, let's go to another example. That this is something that happens on the regular with the normal service. So we got an alert from our security operations team about a lot of different failed logging attempts in different users. This is a classic indication of a brute force attack. Um, so what we did here uh, is that they called us and they gave us a list of all of the users that were targeted in this brute force attempt. And first of all, we were able to realize that they have all been affected in a recent leak. So we knew that why they were being targeted, but we didn't know if they had been successful in actually logging in and being inside of the network, because there was one successful login, but there was no further activity that was detected. So the CTI team kept investigating, and we found in the dark web that a threat actor actually mentioned our customer by name, saying, I just started to brute force into this organization's network. I was able to briefly log in. He was able to get his hands on 5 documents before being kicked out of the network. Um, the threat actor also mentioned that he gave kudos to the security operations of this organization, which that's very nice of him. But at the end of the day, we thanks to this visibility that we also have in the dark web, we were able to tell our customer, listen, we know what happened. We know how they got in. We know why they got in. We know what they were able to do. And we also know that the threat was mitigated. So at the end of the day, what happened from here is that the credentials were all restored. We provided an updated list of stolen credentials that we found from different sources in the dark web. And there was a massive credential hygiene operation that happened that this triggered. So at the end of the day, the business outcome was that there was stronger security posture overall in the customer environment. There was an increased trust in the CyberProof CTI team, but also in the broader security operations team of CyberProof, especially given that the threat actor is saying that we did a good job. So we'll take that. And enhance awareness and training. After something like this, it's important that the rest of the employees of this organization knows the threats that they could be dealing with. And we also saw how important to adhere to be compliant with regulations is important. Um, all right. Let's talk a little bit now about the key differentiators of CyberProof, of our CTI team. First of all, and I think the most important and impactful one, is the collaboration between different services. Um, the CTI team of CyberProof can work as a standalone service, or it can work in combination with the other services that CyberProof provides. In the collaboration between them, it provides and the collaboration between us and the other services and the other teams of whether if it's in CyberProof or if it's the customer internal team, we are very strong at building those cooperations and at building processes that are going to use the CTI, the intelligence that is a high quality intelligence, that is tailored intelligence, customized to the customer environment, and push it and help other services, other teams do better thanks to the CTI team. A cutting edge CTI ecosystem. We have access to the latest and the most advanced tools. All of them, or most of them, are empowered by AI capabilities, either native or external AI capabilities that we added to those tools. Again, we have over 150 high quality feeds that we consume. So all of that puts us in the front of the technical development when it comes to CTI. CTI experts are trusted advisors. We put a lot of emphasis in building the cooperation and the trust between our customers and the CTI analysts that are working with them. So the customer always knows that if there's anything that they need, they can talk to a CTI expert. They just need to send an email, send a message, and you have someone there to provide you with guidance, strategic information, whatever is needed. Takedown service, that is also something that not everyone provides, but it's a very important part of the mitigation process. All of our analysts have military and or industry expertise, so we've dealt with many different things before. If it's external attackers, APTs, hacktivists, or cyber criminals, we probably dealt with them. And CTEM on top of our services. Continuous threat exposure management. CyberProof has a platform that we can ingest CTI into this platform, and it will correlate against our customers' security systems in order to validate which of the threats that we are providing are being protected, are being mitigated by the current security posture of the customer. All right. In this next slide, what I want to briefly go through is our vision and how we are implementing agentic AI. I'm sure you probably heard this concept of agentic AI, but basically it means building AI agents that are going to be part of the CTI service, that are going to help us operationalize the intelligence in a more effective way. So we are building two agents that are going to be in charge of a collection. The first one for external intelligence collection, again, deep, dark, and clear web. And then another one for internal intelligence collection, internal data collection from within our customer security devices. In the external collection, there's going to be also another agent that is going to be the threat profiler agent that is going to take all of the threats for specific industries and geolocations and create a profile based on those threats. There's going to be an IOC agent that is going to extract, enrich, and take care of the hygiene of the IOCs, and a threat landscape agent that is going to continuously monitor and see what is happening out there that needs to be consumed internally. When it comes to internal collection agent, where we are working on an agent that analyzes incidents and enriches them from a CTI perspective, a threat clustering agent that takes different alerts from different sources, but that have similar indicators if it's a specific domain, a specific IP, or a specific TTP, and put them all together in order to provide a wider view of what this threat seems to be. And finally, an IOC enrichment agent, IOCs that are found from internal threats, internal attacks. So we enrich them with the collection agent, and provide again a clearer view of what indicators we are looking at. All of these agents have to go by what we call a human in the loop process. So the CTI expert needs to validate all the information. And this is a person, obviously, that has a lot of experience and knows what this sort of deliverable needs to look like. And then we have a distribution agent that is going to send to each customer, to each different vector where the intelligence needs to be consumed. So that is very briefly how we are entering into this agentic AI era. And I think this can provide lots and lots of value for us. It can save us lots of time, but it can also make everything much more efficient, and the sharing of intelligence can be much quicker. All right. To sum up what we discussed in this webinar. So, what is the CTI service value proposition? First of all, we want to extend the visibility that our customers have with company digital asset monitoring and attack surface management. As mentioned before, provide that visibility. Customer-specific threat landscape monitoring. We want to provide intelligence that is tailored. We don't want to provide noise. We don't want to provide false positive. We don't want our security operations and the security operations of our customers to waste any time in irrelevant data. Actionable insights against emerging threats. Again, everything that we provide needs to be actionable, and that is where the value is actually at. Incident enrichment, cost optimization. We have all the tools, we have all the expertise, and we can save money that way, because companies don't need to have licenses for all these tools. They don't need to have an expert sitting in house. They can have someone do all of this, in managing all of this for them. The takedown capabilities to neutralize threats. And finally, company threat profiling. The company has a threat profile that the rest of the teams are going to work in order to be able to mitigate all of those threats that affect our company, because they are in the specific sector or geolocation. I think that all of these value proposition, these six different aspects together, provide a proactive and comprehensive service that not only informs, but also empowers security operations all over to act faster, to act smarter, and to build strategically. Thank you.
Nathaniel, thank you for that deep dive into how CyberProof does cyber threat intelligence. Super interesting. Now we'd like to invite our participants to take the next step. You can read more about our CTI service on our website at the link on the screen. So cyberproof.com/CTI. You can check out Nathaniel's team's threat research at cyberproof.com/threat research. I'm just going to run it through these because we're short on time. And most exciting for our participants today, sign up to get a customized threat profile based on your industry and region. This is the link, cyberproof.com/threat-profile, and that is in the announcement below and in the attachments as well. Last, but you know what, Nethaniel, would you like to speak to this for just one moment? It's something I think is very exciting for our participants.
Sure. again, we build threat profiles based on organizations, sector, and industry. And based on that, we give a breakdown of the threat actors that are more likely to target them. We include specific CVEs, specific tools, and the TTP mapping, the MITRE attack mapping, that it needs to be prioritized in order to mitigate the specific threat actors.
Excellent. So that is cyberproof.com/threat-profile. And last but not least, follow us on LinkedIn or check out this page on our website for the CTI team's weekly threat alert updates. This is the latest threat alert that was published 4 days ago on LinkedIn. And here I'm pointing out how to get to this page on our website. It's very popular, so I suggest to check that out. And all of these links can be found again in the attachments below. And just one last poll for you as we near the end of our webinar today. We'd love to know how we can follow up with you. There are different ways we can follow up with you. We can schedule a call to discuss CTI strategy. We can connect you with a cybersecurity expert. We can send you that threat profile for your organization based on industry and region. Or if there's anything else, please reach out. We will reach out to you. All right, we'll close that. Thank you. And we do not have time today, unfortunately, for questions, but we will follow up with those of you who have left us those questions. Just a quick recap of ways you can continue the conversation with us. If you're interested in learning more, we'd be happy to set up a one-on-one CTI strategy call. You can get that customized threat profile based on your industry and region at cyberproof.com/threat-profile. And on behalf of Nethaniel and the entire CyberProof team, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you're walking away with actionable insights and look forward to continuing the conversation. Have a great day and stay secure.
Thank you.
Thank you.